Hey beauties, morning to you. Now I'm about to say something and I'm not saying it to hurt anyone or for anybody to feel bad. Parents, teachers, guardians, people who help in the rearing and the teaching of children for them to learning literacy. One of the things that I've never really and truly liked because I never faced it when I went to prep school. It's the way how they teach children to read. They teach them to read as though they're stupid, as though they're idiots, as though they're dunce. So, for example, you'll be listening to some students. Sometimes they'll be reciting something at an event, at an award show, or something simple. And it is as though they're counting their words. They're not sure of what it is that they're saying. They're not convinced by the message that they're promulgating. So they will say, I'm just saying something now arbitrarily. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. It sounds sort of ridiculous, and for me it sort of create a defect in the child where the child doesn't not develop a level of confidence. Notice the children when they're doing, for example, if they're taught dub poetry or poetry and they do it the Miss Lou style, for example, that brilliant way in which they do it, it builds that confidence so that when they're going and they're being an orator, they're now reading something to the people, that it is done succinctly, sweetly, fervently, concisely, precisely. I'm calling all of these adverbs and so on and adjectives, but I'm saying all of that, it builds that confidence in them that they read clearly, they're refined in their speech, and the message comes across better because now the child believes what the message is saying as opposed to the words being counted, and it also creates a deformity in their speech, in their language. And when I say deformity in their speech, they may not sound muffled, but they're not confident. I don't know if you remember, there was at a particular primary school where a teacher they had used because they didn't get the right speaker, or I don't know if it was a politician or a teacher or whatnot. And it could mean that maybe based on the politicians, how that politician was taught. It didn't mean that he was done, but some people thought that way, and that's another thing too. That's one of the unfortunate situations. And because he was not a good orator, and the document I heard was presented very late to him, he read almost in a similar or worse fashion, that a vitriol was created. And I felt bad for him because I said, if they must have known his own strengths and weaknesses, and they should not have done it. What they probably should have done is just use a child that they know can read very well to do the job, or a teacher, say another teacher, as opposed to getting that person. And these things are indicative of that. So I'm simply saying, and it's not specific to only teachers, because teachers are not the only one who teach children how to read and to write. You have parents who do homeschooling and they do it. Just ensure that level of confidence is there. Let them read purposefully. Don't let them count the words as though it's quantifiable. Let them understand the quality of what it is that you're telling them to read. Let them read it like they're on an elocution contest. That we're going to see who the best orator, who the best speech individual, giving the best speech, like they're on a debate sort of a situation. Teach them to do that. Build that confidence in them. It does help in terms of their communication, so that when they communicate with the average Joe, they will be able to communicate precisely, concisely, clear. It is clear. It's not chopped. It is not riddled with a sort of low self-esteem behind it. So I don't want people to feel any way, it's just something that I don't know why we do that. I don't know if it is that because they're children and you speak to them, hey baby, come here, you're so sweet. Nothing is wrong with that, The Bible says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. Fine, that is accepted. But it doesn't mean that you don't, introduce the way how they're going to be as life goes on, and as long as life lends them. As long as life lends them. Teach them to read purposefully, with fervor, with eloquence, with meaning. Let them understand what it is that they're reading. I feel bad when I look at my counterparts, and I'm talking about people of the, like, whether it doesn't even have to be first world countries, but our other Caribbean brothers and sister country or countries. And you hear them reading clearly, purposefully, eloquently, refined, you know. They understand what it is that they're doing, what they're reading, as opposed to the words being chopped up and cut up. And it sounds as if, when somebody who is sort of illiterate and their IQ is very low, trying to learn how to read. That's how it sounds sometimes, And I'm just encouraging, everybody, that we're not stagnant. We're not stalemated. We're not stuck at one level. And because you never did it in the past doesn't mean you can't do it today. Let us be quantum in our thinking, be different in our thinking and in our teaching when we're helping other people. It can be hard and it can be done. And I say this lovingly, I say it respectfully, I say it humbly. I wish you all the best, teachers, parents. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this message, please.